Why, hello there, Knife's Tale here. I do hope you're having a good day. I'm bringing you a knife review today of this New Breed EDC Wingspan. This is a relative recent acquisition. I did the unboxing not that long ago. I've decided to just move on to the review for this thing. It's not the most complex knife, but it's so far performed really, really well, so I just figure why hesitate any longer than it needs to be. So it's a little faster, a little quicker turnaround on this one than maybe some of them. But it's still been about a week and a half, 2 weeks. Maybe not since I uploaded the actual unboxing, but that's a different story, right? You don't get exact time frames. Let us jump into the specs of this knife. The blade is 3.5 inches, pretty much on the dot. Just under 8 inches overall, though the pocket clip sticks out just a tiny bit, and that's almost 8 inches on the dot for the whole thing. The handle is about 4 3/4 with the pocket clip sticking out a little bit beyond that. Let's do some comparisons. This is not a big knife, but it's not a small knife. It is definitely a full-size knife, even though it is nice and slim and nimble feeling. Our comparisons being the small Civivi Elementum and the full-size 3.5-inch Civivi Conspirator. And yeah, it's actually a slightly bigger than the... No, it's not. Let's see. It's slightly smaller than the Conspirator. That was my own angle being a little bit weird there. It is slightly smaller than the Conspirator. Not by a whole lot, but it is there. But it's very close. Grip size comparisons, or comparisons to a AA battery. You have more than 2 AA batteries on the handle itself, and then you have a forward drawer. You have just endless room. Endless space to put your hands. Tons of room. Big mitts, tiny mitts, you'll fit here. Thickness compared to the Conspirator is, even though this knife is contoured, looks to be a tiny bit thinner to my eye. Which, who cares about my eyes, right? Now, why does it do that with the 5? You're closed. You are closed, right? No, you weren't. Okay. Okay, thickness of the Wingspan. 469 thousandths. So under half an inch, and yes, I believe that is technically, yeah, thinner than the, decently thinner than the Conspirator, which, despite the contouring, is pretty impressive. Or I should say, with the contouring, it's pretty impressive. 116, maybe 115 thousandths blade stock. It's weird. It looks like a really thick blade when you're just looking at it. Maybe it's because everything else is so thin and small, and the edge is so thin because this particular one's got a hollow grind on it. Not all of them had hollow grinds. There was something that happened in creation. These were made by Kubi for New Breed EDC, and there were a few delays, but who gives a crap about that? I'll talk about that in a little bit. But the hollow grinds weren't coming out right on some of the finishes, so there were some belt satin hollows, belt satin flats, and I think the stonewash were flats, maybe. And there was another variant of this knife. I'll link the New Breed EDC website down below. Behind the edge, on the hollow ground version, however, 10 thousandths. Approximately 10 thousandths behind the edge. This thing cuts. This is a slicey little bugger. And with this sort of modified sheep's foot sort of blade, it's very utilitarian. Very good, very useful, very EDC friendly. You can get right up behind it. This blade is excellent. And the finish on this blade, I don't know. There's something about this satin. I don't know if it's because it's extra reflective or what, but there's a slight kind of hand satin right here, or at least a horizontal satin. There's something about this thing. Maybe it's because it's got a polish, almost polish on the spine. It's very attractive. Just it looks really good, and it's hard to quantify why it looks better than most, but it does. Before we go any further, I should probably say that this is in S35VN. It was meant to keep the price down, and it did very nicely. It is in textured titanium, with this particular one has inlays of silver twill, carbon fiber, or Alatex, which is honestly quickly becoming among my favorite carbon fibers. One of them. Yeah, the fibers aren't quite as small as the graphite fibers in regular carbon fiber, which I've learned thanks to a viewer, which, again, sir, thank you. You've taught me many things, and I appreciate your continued support. You know who you are. There's also a few carbon fiber inlays in the pocket clip, which I think is just a nice touch. It is a liner lock, as I said, on bearings. I think I said bearings. Now, moving on to a little bit more detail, the blade is sterile. The only thing was the S35 down there. The plunge grind is amazing. The plunge grind is here. I mean, yes, that's how you do a plunge grind all day. You have jimping that is actually functional. Very nice. You have a front flipper and a reverse flicking... It's not really a fuller, it's more just a full-on, I don't know, aperture, whatever you want to call it. I don't think technically it's a fuller if it's going all the way through, but that might be just me being stupid. Now, before I go any further, I do want to talk about this front flipper. This front flipper is the one downfall of this knife. And you'd think, after I just said this is like perfect jimping, or near perfect jimping, it's not perfect jimping. It does provide a lot of traction, but it is not the most perfect jimping in existence. You can probably find better if you really look, but not consistently. But I digress. This front flipper is the one issue this thing has. And that is, in my opinion, that this is too rounded right here at the apex. Where you want to push it, I find myself slipping around. I can get it to work, but I have to push into it a little bit more than it really is comfortable. Now, so I think maybe just not rounding it quite as much, a little more square, would have been probably preferable. You can, instead of going up here and slipping off, go a bit down, and it works. Though it does feel like it's grating my hands my finger a little bit more. Though my fingers are very prone to that in general, so that might not be a problem for you. It works. It works. It's good. It's fine. I like kind of just from the side here. It does have enough grip to do your tricks and everything pretty easily. But you're dead on, straight, coming from the front flip. You have to go a bit lower than you'd think. Once you get used to that, it's not a problem. So I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying could be better. It's like the one and almost only weakness this knife I found on this knife. The reverse flick is, you have a lot of room. Oh, not a lot of room. It is tight, but you have a lot of positional adjustment position, I suppose. And the reverse flick is quite good. And honestly, if I remember correctly, the thumb flick is quite solid as well, despite not having a whole lot of room there. It's just enough to kick out. Of course, I failed miserably by sticking to the blade, but whatever. There is no play. It is nearly drop shut, and it came this way. And it is almost perfectly centered. I think it does favor the clip just a tiny hair, but I think I could probably get that out. No, it might just be lighting. It's real hard to tell for me. Yeah, it's pretty darn close to perfectly centered. And for a hollow grind, I'm willing to take a little bit off and accept it. This is excellent for a hollow grind. Let's just take a quick... Yeah, maybe just a tiny bit off to the clip side. Maybe. But more than adequate, in my opinion. And as you can see, like I said, I like to do kind of just the side of my finger kind of thing, because it grips that pretty well. I just wouldn't fidget with the front flipper, because you can end up like slipping off and grating your finger a little bit. So it's so even dead on, yeah. You see, that's the thing. It's like, it's one of those ones where when you get up to a certain point, you start to slip off of it because of how round it is. So even if you get it going, it tends to stop without, you know, really giving it a good pop. There's also a tiny bit of jimping down here. I have no idea what the heck that's for. You can't really feel it. Maybe you can a little bit. I don't know. It's there. Who cares? Bearing action is amazing. Lock bar access is excellent. Cut out, chamfer down. Wonderful. Come from the side. Boom. Drops. Your finger goes into the choil so it doesn't really hit my nail too much. And it just slides down from there. Kubi did a wonderful job on that. And the finish of it all and on the titanium is quite nice. It's nicely rounded. These edges are really nicely softened. It's not even a chamfer. Well, I mean, maybe it's a chamfer, but it's really softened and really comfortable. There is a lock bar insert in there, by the way. There's no real milling on this thing. I mean, there's a tiny bit. You can kind of see it right. Can you see it? Okay, let's see if I turn on this light. Can you see it now? Yeah, there's like a pocket right here. There it is. There's a pocket right there that runs along the backspacer, but that's like it. There's no other milling internally. And I didn't finish the specs. What an idiot. What a potato. Oh, Lord. 3 ounces. 3.15 ounces. Yeah, you're getting in at more than an ounce an inch. The ratios are wonderful. It's super light even without the milling. And the hardware is T8. And the pocket clip is T... Is that T8? That's T8. Yeah, it's T8. It just doesn't feel like super deep kind of T8, you know? But it's T8, so I'm not going to knock it. It is what it is. There's also a backspacer that is kind of polished with a light satin on it too, kind of matching the satin up here, which is really nice. Looks great. The pocket clip is thin. It's a bit tight, but it does have decent enough flex. It's got great retention. It is mounted from the back. It is not reversible, unfortunately. In fact, the New Breed EDC logo is inside, which is nice, on the bottom of the pocket clip. I appreciate that. The only other little critique I have on this thing is the pocket clip. I don't know if it's... It looks like it should be good. Maybe it's a little bit too close to the spine here, like if it was a little bit lower. Or if it's just maybe because it's decently thick, so it ends up being a little taller than you might think. You do feel the pocket clip. It is not uncomfortable. It is one of those ones where you kind of get in this situation where you're saying, you can find a place that's ultra comfortable in this knife, but you might have to adjust a little bit around before you get used to that. At least back here. But overall, it is super, super comfortable. And choked up, it's even better. And let's be honest, this is pretty much where I use this knife most of the time, because this choil is just so welcoming. Honestly, this is a wonderful knife that's absolutely a knockout of the park. 1 second. Sorry about that. I'm back. I had a distraction. So, before I talk about price, I just want to say there were a few delays with this thing, right, that kept it from coming quite as early as it was supposed to, but there was great communication from New Breed EDC, and honestly, it still didn't take too long. I know he was very apologetic, but I'm just want to say directly to the designer here and the owner, don't worry about it. The knives got here. You kept us in the loop. If anybody was complaining, just ignore them. As long as it's not taking like 4 years, I think you're good. You've put out another previous knife. You've now put out at least 2 to my knowledge. They're good. You're good. I think that as long as you stay in communication and let us know what's happening, some delays are not a problem, especially with the state of everything nowadays, so don't beat yourself up over that. Just wanted to say that because I think he deserves to hear that, personally. Hopefully other people have said it to him as well. Because this thing is great. 100%. This is possibly one of my Knife of the Year contenders. I have a handful of them. This is one of them. Now, there's one other thing I want to mention. And that is the price of this knife. I looked on the website, and the price of this knife currently, there is an acid with blue titanium and regular carbon fibers, acid wash, hollow grind that looks like this one, and a flat grind that looks like this as well. Same configuration. All of the knives on the website right now, and I don't know if this is a mistake or not, but it says $150. It feels like a mistake, because there is no way this thing should be $150. Dude, if you're serious here, that's an amazing price. That's like crazy. This is knock out of the park at $200. It is. At $150, this is one of the best deals I've seen in a very, very long time. If you like the aesthetic, you don't mind this sort of modified sheep's foot, upswept sort of Ness mucky style thing. I think they call it a Ness or Muck's foot or something like that on the website. And you like this sort of thinner aesthetic, it really does have a Wingspan kind of look. Yeah, my God, this is wonderful, and I hope by making this video I can get this out before even 1 or 2 more people, because this is one of the best offerings I've seen in a while. S35, yes, okay, it's not M390. I don't care. S35, easier to heat treat. Kubi does a perfectly good job with it. The fit and finish here is just immaculate. It's wonderful. And, I mean, you're getting titanium and carbon fiber. If this is at $150, if this is at $200, win all day. Yes. So, yeah. Heck. I'd argue that even at $250, this would be a pretty reasonable and good knife. I'd still buy the dang thing. So, yeah. This is a win, and it's going to be definitely in my Knife of the Year contender grouping. There are a couple. This is one of them. 100%. So I'm going to end things here. Say thank you for watching. Hopefully, to get the price, everybody stuck around long enough to hear that insane price point, which is wonderful. Even if it's just temporary, even if it's like a release sale, I don't know. But win all day, yes. Yes. I'm going to end things here. This is a good knife. Heartily recommend. Good job. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having a good day. I'll see you in the next one. And whatever else I'm sure I'm forgetting to say. Just imagine I said it. Ooh, yes. See ya.